this has been represented an excellent buying opportunity. And if you go back and look at my recommended trades, you'll notice that I was always recommending a trade down around this level, because again, this is opportunity. Like when you've got things that are happening in Greece and things like that right now, Japan can be very, very volatile, so we want to take that into consideration. But again, remember, the primary trend here from Vantage Point, the buy signal came at the 90 level. We've gone from the 90 level all the way to the 95 level. So that's the key thing, again, to keep away from that short-term stuff and look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, if you just took the one or two positions right here and just held them for, realistically, Patrick, a very short time. This was, you can see right here, this was on March the 19th. We're only, a little over a month past that, a month and a half, and this thing's moved up 500 pips. So on a 100K trade, that's a pretty decent trade. That's $5,000 in profit. So definitely something we want to look at when we're doing that. I'm just going to switch this back into our PowerPoint screen here. Now, John has a question. Can this software be used for trading the equity markets? Absolutely. I trade the equities specifically that I trade are individual stocks. I trade ETFs. I'm not sure what happened to you. I'm in Canada, by the way, guys. I'm sure that most of you are in the US. Now, we have RSPs up here. I believe you guys have 401ks. My RSPs, I let somebody else manage them, and I absolutely got killed. Now, my primary markets are futures, Forex, and individual stocks, but my retirement stuff, I was wise enough to let somebody else manage that, because I didn't feel it was something interesting enough for me. Well, my accounts probably went down 40 or 50% over the last 2 years. They've recovered somewhat. About 9 months ago, I took those accounts away from them, and I manage them myself now. I went back to got the Vantage Point software. I purchased the ETF program and the individual stocks. Now, most of my stuff on an individual basis for the equity markets and retirement stuff, I put into ETFs and individual stocks, and I kind of make up my own little mutual fund. So, and I'm having phenomenal success with that. So, to answer your question, absolutely, it can be used. And the thing with this too, John, is that the way you're seeing me trade the foreign exchange market, I trade the equities, the ETFs, the futures, the commodities, the exact same way. All the same principles are applied, all the same indicators are applied, just a little slightly different money management situation with Forex, and that's why in my presentations, John, I try and show people, don't get carried away with leverage. If you have 50,000 or if you have 10,000, trade within your means and you should be fine. But when you get into heavy leverage, yes, the potential for substantial gains are there, but remember the flip side of that coin. There can be equally as many possibility of losses. So just something you definitely want to take into consideration. But a great program to be using in ETFs and numerous different types of equities. So just sitting here waiting to see if we have any other questions. We have a webinar on the equity markets. Well, you know what? I certainly can do that. If that's something, a lot of people ask me about that and questions, and I want to thank everybody for sending emails through to TraderPlanet. Yeah, we can certainly do that, because again, with the FXCM, the reason I'm using the FXCM UK platform is because we can look at the S&P 500, we can look at the NASDAQ, we can look at the Nikkei, we can actually do some equity trading on there. So hopefully that answers that question. That in months ahead, I'll definitely do I'll spend a good part of the segment for you there on the equities. Another question here from Patrick. Do you want separation between the three EMA to pick the Forex? Would you trade Great Britain? Maybe a little more clarification on that question, Patrick. Separation between the 3-day. Well, separation, I think you're meaning a separation between the 3, the 8, and the 18-day. I do prefer separation for sure. Great Britain, yes, I would trade Great Britain, but at the same time, I would be somewhat cautious. Great Britain, Japan seems to be messy. Another question from Patrick. Thanks for these questions, Patrick. It's good because everybody can learn from this. Great Britain seems to be messy, short, medium, on top of each other. Patrick, again, Great Britain, Japan, when it behaves, it's a very good currency pair. But again, it's a cross pair, and right now, with everything that's happening in Greece, the yen and the US dollar, the main thing what you want to understand here, Patrick, is the correlation between the yen and the US dollar. They are absolutely mopping up the field. You know, they're taking out the euro, the Aussie, the New Zealand, the CAD. They're killing everybody. So right now, in a situation like this, it's probably better to stick with those US-based pairs, because the cross pairs, again, they're synthetic currencies. So, you know, when trading and in trending markets and there's no global mayhem like what we're seeing right now, they can be very good to trade. But sometimes, you know, Patrick, you just have to know which side to trade. Do you want to go into the crosses? Do you want to stick with the US-based pairs? So if you want to trade Great Britain right now, Patrick, I would point you towards Euro Great Britain, and I would point you towards Great Britain US. But I would advise to be very, very cautious of the pound or of the pound yen right now. Now we're just waiting to see here if we have any other questions. Hopefully that answered your question there, Patrick. We got another question here from Tom. Comment: this is the first webinar I've attended, and though I don't do Forex at present, you do an excellent job explaining the principle. Well done. Well, thanks very much, Tom. I appreciate that. I really do. And if you have any questions, Tom, Patrick, or anybody else that was nice enough to come out for the webinar this morning, feel free to send me some emails to Trader Planet. I'm always happy to talk to you guys, and I'm always happy to provide advice. And of course, it's there's no charge or anything like that. It's just part of the webinar service that the nice people here at Trader Planet put on each week, a couple of times a month. Again, don't forget, we've got another webinar coming up next week on the Wednesday, you know, and so we can look at, I'm going to throw in a little bit of equities for next week, just so everybody, you know, can have a look. So we're just waiting here to see if we have any other questions before we close things out here today. Now, hopefully, you know, again, the principles that I've used here today in trading the Forex market, absolutely apply them to your equity trading. Apply them to your commodity and your futures trading. All of that, very, very effective. So with that said, I think we've got all of our questions here for today. I'm just waiting here for a moment just before we close out to see if there's anything else. Okay, I think we're done for the day. Once again, thanks everybody for coming out, and again, we hope to see you all next week.
Thank you, Greg. If the audience would want to give Greg a round of applause, you have the means to do that through the raising hand icon on the lower left corner of your screen. If you click the down arrow, you'll see a drop-down menu where you can select applause. We really appreciate Greg for his time today. You'll find this webcast on TraderPlanet.com later this afternoon, and we have made arrangements to email the link to everyone who's registered for this session. If you're interested in seeking further information on Vantage Point Intermarket Analysis software, just select the Click Here link on this final slide. This will place a request with our friends at Market Technologies for free market forecasts and additional information on the software that Greg has featured in this presentation. This concludes today's session. Thank you for attending, and all of us here at Trader Planet wish you a profitable trading day.